Every like, every comment, and every subscriber gives me motivation daily to bring you guys the best MMA content on YouTube. So Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier is coming up very quickly. And here's my video on how Dustin Poirier finishes and defeats Charles Oliveira come fight night. Let's jump right into it. So if I'm Dustin Poirier, I'm automatically coming out and not letting Charles Oliveira get comfortable in the fight. If he wants to win this fight, in my opinion, he can't stand and bang in the middle of the cage with Charles Oliveira. Not because Charles Oliveira will just out technically strike him and just outclass him in the striking in the center of the cage. It's just that he's kind of giving Charles his best way to win, in my opinion. It's just that if you sit there in the center of the cage and try to strike with Charles Oliveira, he's just going to attack the legs. And attack the legs over and over and over again. Dustin Poirier isn't the best leg kicker, but whenever he does come forward, he also makes a lot of mistakes defensively, but Charles Oliveira makes a lot of mistakes defensively going backwards. When you intelligently pressure Charles Oliveira, he tends to fall into your shots, and one of the main things about Charles Oliveira is that the dude just doesn't move his damn head. The guy is a sitting target for over right hands or over left hands, to be honest. Just look at what Michael Chandler did to Charles Oliveira. Now, Michael Chandler has more power than Dustin Poirier, but Dustin Poirier has way better boxing. He's way better crisp with the hands than Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler kind of fights like a wild man, but if I'm Dustin Poirier, I'm coming in there with intelligent pressure, intelligent boxing, and picking my shots and pushing Charles back and making it a very uncomfortable fight for him. AKA, just put the pressure on him. The next thing Dustin Poirier needs to do is set a pace on Charles Oliveira, but this kind of falls into the category of just making him uncomfortable. But if you're pushing a pace against Charles Oliveira, he tends to crumble under the pressure a little bit. Now, I do disagree with Justin Gaethje calling him a quitter. I don't think that it's necessarily Charles Oliveira quits. It's just that it's a lot to handle for him in the moment. He is just not the best under intense pressure and under a high pace. He just can't react in time with a lot of situations, and he kind of gets frozen in place. That is the perfect moment for Dustin Poirier to hunt him down and capitalize. Dustin Poirier is probably not going to wrestle in this fight. In my opinion, it'd be ill-advised if he does. So the only way that he can really set the pace is with his hands and coming forward, chin tucked, and making Charles Oliveira, once again, extremely uncomfortable. This is going to be a big tone of this fight. If Dustin Poirier can make Charles Oliveira very uncomfortable in there, he can almost seal the deal. But let's talk about the next thing. But despite what I'm saying, Charles Oliveira has pretty underrated striking, if you ask me. Everybody just thinks that Charles Oliveira is this jiu-jitsu guy. Charles Oliveira has very high-level kicks and just all-around very high-level kickboxing. That is why I said that Dustin Poirier doesn't really necessarily want to spend too much time in the center of the cage. Sure, he could outbox Oliveira from that range, but Oliveira is a great leg kicker, and he's just going to keep tagging that leg. That is why I said Dustin should push Oliveira back, put his back against the cage, and make Oliveira run away from him, in my opinion. But where it's not that close, in my opinion, is the boxing range. I just feel like Dustin Poirier just has much better hands. Not saying that Charles Oliveira doesn't have hands. I just think that Dustin Poirier just has better hands. And when you look at it on paper, Dustin Poirier may be the all-around better striker. But I am not going off of hypotheticals. I'm going off of facts. And in my opinion, Dustin Poirier has clearly the better boxing. He doesn't hang his chin in the air like Charles Oliveira. He moves his head a lot better than Charles Oliveira. He has more power in his hands than Charles Oliveira. And it's just that Dustin Poirier, whenever he attacks with his boxing, he punches in bunches, meaning he attacks with volume, and whenever he attacks with that volume, there's power coming behind it. He could easily rock Charles Oliveira and finish him on the feet, getting a standing TKO in the later rounds. Who has the better gas tank? They both kind of slowed down in the fight, but I would have to give the gas tank advantage to Dustin Poirier. Because Charles Oliveira, like I said, whenever you make him extremely uncomfortable, he tends to use a lot of wasted movements. And then under that pressure, that anxiety, it makes him crumble and it makes him start breathing heavy. Like Israel Adesanya said about Marvin Vettori, he'll be mouth breathing by the freaking third round. So if I'm Dustin Poirier, I'm using pressure, I'm using pace, and I'm using my hands as key weapons to win this fight. But who do you guys got come fight night? I just wanted to make this video because I've been thinking about this lightweight matchup and I'm extremely excited for it. Later, I'm going to make a way how Charles Oliveira wins. I'm going to make a video about how Charles Oliveira finishes Dustin Poirier. But this has been how Dustin Poirier finishes Charles Oliveira. It's been your boy Trippy, and I'm out, man.